up front. There always is. I was laughing at 9:15 service Sunday. The whole front row was empty. Except for there were like two people right here. Everything else, the front row was empty. Everybody was packed in here, but nobody in the front row. Yeah, right. That used to be the thing we used to tell people. Fill in from the front back so that when latecomers come, they don't have to walk past everybody to come in and sit down. But never works. Never works. It just keeps moving. Just keep moving forward. There we go. Yeah. That would work, yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. If you pay for it, we'll do it, huh? All right. Give it just another minute or two for any stragglers, and then we'll get started. No, that would not be a good idea. Oh no, no. In the rainforest, is it like slick because it's wet in there? Sure. Oh. Yeah, probably for a good reason. Right. Yeah. Yes. I wonder what those little blue dots are for there. Come on down. Did you grab a handout, Diane? Did you grab a handout? It is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. Okie dokie. It is 10 a.m. on the dot, so we're going to get started. So I'd like to start with a reading from Proverbs. This is from the 3rd chapter of Proverbs, beginning at the 13th verse. Happy are those who find wisdom and those who get understanding. For her income is better than silver and her revenue better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called happy. The Lord, by wisdom, founded the earth. By understanding, he established the heavens. By his knowledge, the deeps broke open, and the clouds dropped down the dew. My child, do not let these escape from your sight. Keep sound wisdom and prudence, and they will be life for your soul and adornment for your neck. Then you will walk on your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. If you sit down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Then you will not be afraid of sudden panic or of the storm that strikes the wicked, for the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. The fun part of that was that I was thinking about what to open with today, what devotion to begin with, and I opened the Bible, and that's where it fell. Is that awesome? That is just awesome. God is good. Let us pray. Faithful one, indeed, your wisdom is all sufficient for us. We can trust in your wise leading and guiding, and certainly we can trust in your provision for us. And so we ask you, Lord, now as we enter this time, May this time be a time of joy. May it be a time of learning, of expanding our wisdom. And Lord, may all that we do here today, may it not only please you, but glorify you. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. So we are going to talk today about something called Joy Span. And we're going to hear in a moment here from the author of this book. It's a fairly new book. The reason I found it and loved it was because it looks past just longevity. It looks past just a healthy lifespan or a long lifespan. It looks at how to live with joy. Don't we all want to live with joy? Yes, and so this book is by Dr. Carrie Burnite. We figured out the technical difficulty here in making this happen. Luke is back there and he's going to work his magic when I do this blank slide. And we're going to see an interview with Dr. Burnite on the Today Show.
Our next guest is challenging us to all shift our perspective on aging and find joy in all stages of our lives, because it is true. Dr. Carrie Burnite is her name. She's a gerontologist and expert on aging. Her new book is called, I love this title, Joy Span, The Art and Science of Thriving in Life's Second Half. Dr. Carrie Burnite, we're happy to say, joins us in studio live and in color, wearing yellow, which I happen to think is a very happy color. Let's just start with that. So, Carrie, I've heard about lifespan, health span, joy span, which made a whole lot of sense to me when I read your book. Explain joy span, what it means to you.
Joy span is the part we've been missing.
Yes.
So it's the quality, because who wants to live a long life if you're not loving the quality of your life?
And you can be healthy and still not loving the quality of your life.
Exactly. So joy span is well-being in longevity. It's about satisfaction. And it's the opposite of toxic positivity, because growing older is hard, but what we need is to think, with the challenges that aging bring, how do we make the most of these bonus 30, 40 years?
Yeah, because there are going to be challenges.
There are challenges when
There are challenges.
Guaranteed.
Yes,
Guaranteed.
yes.
And so, you know, losing loved ones or chronic disease or a diagnosis you didn't expect. And it's for that reason why joy matters even more.
This is what I like, because she says, guys, aging, you could look at it as a decline or continued growth.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I say continued growth.
And what I love about this book, it's applicable to so many different people from different walks of life. I'm a former athlete, played in the NFL from age 21 to about 33. Most of the time when guys leave the NFL, because it seems like a lifetime ago, they can't find joy. It escapes out of their grips because they're trying to compare it to this void that they feel over this beautiful game we play. But for you, you say joy isn't ecstasy. It's not finding the most impactful and joyful thing in the world, but it's closer to contentment.
Exactly right. So unlike happiness, which is like this for all of us, joy, even in the very hard times, is something from the inside out. And because of that, it can be cultivated in the same way that we do our physical. We can get this fortification inside to make it all the way to 105.
You know, Carrie, I found this book incredibly validating because I remember having a conversation with a younger person a few years ago, and they were saying to me, oh my gosh, I can't imagine being how old you are. And I said, you know, I can't imagine being your age. When I was in my 20s, life was okay. My life has gotten better every year that I've been on planet Earth. Every day I wake up and I'm happy to be the age that I am, having lived the things that I've lived and the experiences that I've had. And that's what this book is sort of about.
And you are part of a revolution of stepping into our age.
I like a revolution.
Yeah, so it's not about how not to age, it's how to age with strength.
With joy, because I like the other thing you say is laughter is so important. Because, you know, little kids laugh 300 times a day. It starts to decline when we're 23, but laughter is key, and longevity does not determine how you're going to live your life. Genetics. Genetics doesn't.
Right. It's easy to say, oh, she's lucky because of genetics.
Yes.
But in fact, there is choice. And there is the effort that it takes to go, okay, every single day I'm going to choose this again, even with the hard stuff.
But you have always liked older people.
Yes.
As a little kid, Because you're saying we're taught that older people are scary and it's not fun, but you see something differently.
Society makes older out to be the boogeyman.
Yes.
It's a real lucrative business to be anti-aging, but pro-aging is a whole different story. And it isn't lucrative, but it's where joy is found.
Yes.
No doubt.
And you say continue
Thank you.
growing, connecting, and adapt.
Yes.
Carrie Bernard, thank you so much.
Carrie.
We appreciate you. Joy Span goes on sale tomorrow.
Looking for joy. That'll do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.
Yes. Am I back on? Yep, there we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the things that Carrie Bernite has in her book. We're going to do a couple of exercises that she has in here. I've got an entire suggested reading list for you before you leave today, and it is on there, so you can actually get the book because it's just loaded with really, really, really good stuff. But let's go here. So what is joy span, according to Dr. Bernite? She says that longevity is not just the number of your years, which she calls lifespan, right? So we all have a lifespan, the number of years we're going to live. It's not even the number of years lived in good health, and she calls that health span. So how many years do we live in good health? It's how many years you enjoy living. So that is your joy span. So we can live a long life and even not be healthy, but if we have this inner joy, this way of looking at life and enjoying life, that is your joy span. And we're going to talk about the 4 ways that she says we can increase our joy span. So in your handouts, you'll have this little graph, and it's hard to read, so actually I should have had a handout because I can't read it either. Can I borrow somebody's handout? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can read it on my computer, but I can't read it way up there. So we talked about in our 3rd session, we looked at, or our 2nd session, we looked at all of these psychological models for how we age, from Carl Jung and Erik Erikson and Richard Fowler and others. Putting that together in kind of a circle of well-being, these are the things that we can actually have some impact on so that we can have well-being in our lives. The first one is autonomy, and we talked about that. Remember how a lot of you, when I said, what are the things you fear? And you said, I fear losing my autonomy, being able to make choices for myself. And autonomy in this way is defined as the ability to make independent choices and resist social pressure. So to be able to make your own decisions and to be able to be autonomous. The second one is environmental mastery, competence in managing everyday life tasks and challenges. That's another thing that we talked about when you said, what are the things you fear? I fear not being able to get around, not being able to have the mobility that I once had. So that's another part of our psychological well-being. Personal growth, the continued openness to new experiences and development. The fact that you're here today means that you want that, right? And you were looking for that. Positive relationships with others, developing deep, meaningful social connections. Purpose in life, a sense of direction, meaning, and future-oriented goals. And finally, self-acceptance, a realistic view of oneself, acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses. So to be, in other words, if you put all those models together that we looked at in the 2nd session, you can put all those together and say, this is what it means to be, to have well-being at no matter what age, right? Wherever we are in life. So she talks about all through this book the balance of longevity, or in our length of life, right, our age span, and then our well-being or our health span, and then this joy span. So this is her matrix, very simple. She said, these are the 4 ways in which we can develop joy. For us to live a long, not only happy life, but productive life, these are the 4 things that we need to continue to do no matter what age we are. So to give, she says, is the most important one. To adapt, to grow, and to connect. And so she has some definitions for those 4 things. To give. So the willingness to share yourself to enrich the lives of others. She says, the more we look outside of ourselves and decide that we are going to do for others, give to others, the less we become self-centered and focus on all the things that are wrong in our own lives. So she said one of the most important things you can do is to look outward, right? I mean, we certainly want to be introspective about some of the things happening in our lives, but she said to really be able to find joy, you need to give to others and look at what others need and to be able to give to them. Adaptation. Adapt is the desire and ability to adjust to life's inevitable challenges. How adaptable are you? How resilient are you? Are you able to bounce back when things go wrong? All of that is part of the adaptability. Connection is your dedication to building relationships with other people. You are part of this congregation because that's important to you, right? Because those are relationships that help and sustain us and help us grow. And then grow is your determination to continue developing as a person. I know a lot of you are continuing, you take classes and all kinds of things you want to learn, and a lot of you are traveling with us and on pilgrimages because you want to learn more about other cultures. All of those ways help us grow and become more joyful. So here are some of the definitions she uses. So for give, she said, some of the things you can look at are your compassion, your legacy. What is it you want to leave as far as what do you want people to know about you? So that when you're gone, what are they going to say? What's left over for the people around you? Purpose, meaning, generosity, and being others focused. And then for adaptability or adapt, to have humility, forgiveness, autonomy, adaptability, self-acceptance, resilience, courage, and coping, because as we get older, coping is going to be one of the things we need to do, because we're not going to have the same ability. We're not going to be able to have the same health to deal with. We're not going to be able to go and do the things that we once did. So how do we cope with that? And with losses. And then for the relationship part, or to have those relationships, social interaction, friendships, quality connections, interdependence, and belonging. And then finally, at the bottom there is gratitude, personal growth, intellectual curiosity, humor, awe, and spiritual growth. So how do we grow? These are just some of the ways. So, who are some JoySpan examples? She gives some really fun ones. We talked about some of the people in our second session that we kind of hold up as people that we say, oh, you know, that I want to grow old like this person because I really respect how they grew older. She has a couple of great examples, and here's just a couple of them. So let's see the first one here. So the first one, of course, is who? Dick Van Dyke. So, and he's still living, by the way, at 100. At 100, he just turned 100. So this is what she says about him. Dick Van Dyke is an American actor, comedian, singer, and dancer whose career has spanned more than 7 decades. Born on December 13th, 1925 in West Plains, Missouri, Van Dyke became a household name through his versatility and charm, leaving an indelible mark on television, film, and stage. Here are the examples of why and how he had a very long joy span. Grow. Showcasing his continued growth, Van Dyke, at age 91, performed in Mary Poppins Returns. It lit me up, he says. I still danced on a table, just much more carefully this time. Connect. Van Dyke maintains close relationships with his 4 children as well as his friends from work, such as Julie Andrews. He married his second wife, Arlene Silver, at age 87. Adapt. Throughout his life, Van Dyke has been open about challenges, including struggles with alcohol addiction and mental health. His 2011 autobiography, My Lucky Life in and Out of Show Business, reflects both resilience and gratitude. He emphasizes how laughter, dance, and a sense of play help keep him going. And finally, give. Van Dyke's a cappella group, the Vantastics, performs frequently at benefits to raise funds for children's programs and community initiatives to address homelessness. So those are the 4 ways in which he has created joy span in his life. And the other one, of course, is Betty White. Betty White, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but she lived a long life as well. An American actress, comedian, and television pioneer whose career spanned more than 8 decades, White was known for her irreverent sense of humor. She became a beloved figure in entertainment, inspiring countless fans with her joyful approach to growing older. This is how they evaluated her joy span, grow. White continued working well into her 90s, taking on new projects, including hosting Saturday Night Live at age 88. Retirement is not in my vocabulary, she said. They aren't going to get rid of me that way, she famously said. Connect. White valued her relationships and maintained close bonds with friends, fans, and her beloved animals. She was particularly close to her Golden Girls castmates, whom she considered extended family. Adapt. Throughout her life, White adapted to the changing entertainment industry, reinventing herself across multiple generations. She tackled challenges with humor, famously quipping, "I may be a senior, but so what? I'm still hot." Her ability to laugh in every stage of life endeared her to audiences and helped her face life challenges with resilience and joy. And finally, give. White was a devoted animal advocate, spending much of her time and resources supporting animal welfare organizations. She served on the board of the Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association for more than 40 years, dedicating herself to the well-being of animals and using her platform to inspire others to care for them as well. And I don't have a picture of him, but one more is Jimmy Carter. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, born in 1924, was known for his humility, integrity, faith, and strong relationships with family, friends, colleagues, and those he served. Mr. Carter was the first president to reach 100 years of age before he passed in 2024. He attributed his longevity to his faith, a strong sense of purpose, staying mentally active, and strong family relationships. Grow. Early in life, Carter was a peanut farmer. In middle age, he served as president, and as an older man, he was a global humanitarian. His willingness to adapt, to take on new roles, allowed him to impact countless lives, demonstrating that growth and purpose can be lifelong endeavors. Connect. Carter's life was deeply enriched by his relationships with others. His enduring marriage to Rosalind Carter, which spanned more than 77 years, is a testament to the strength of his personal connection. Carter remained close with his 4 children and their spouses, as well as his 22 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That's a lot. That's an expensive Christmas. He had friends of all ages with whom he remained close before he passed. Adapt. Carter adapted to the changing needs of the world, shifting his focus from politics to humanitarian work and peace building. His adaptability steered him to become a global advocate for peace and human rights, mediating conflicts, monitoring elections, and addressing public health crisis. Even in his 90s, Carter embraced change, continuing his work with the Carter Center and advocating for issues that impact people globally. Give. Through the Carter Center, he worked to eradicate diseases, promote peace, and protect human rights, impacting millions of lives. He was also a committed volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, with whom he helped build and renovate homes, often working alongside the families who would live in them. His life was driven by his compassion and a deep sense of responsibility to help others. President Carter's life exemplifies how dedication to service, close relationships, and a willingness to grow and adapt can create a long joy span. Great examples.
There was a woman on TV this morning, 90 years old, still teaching.
Awesome. Because she loves it. You know, if you're doing what you love, it doesn't matter how old you are, right? Wonderful. See, yeah, see, she's got joy span for sure. David?
Remember mentioning Carter in his 90s when fighting brain cancer.
Yes.
Still taught Sunday school.
Yes, when he had brain cancer and he was, being treated for brain cancer, he was still teaching Sunday school, Jimmy Carter. Amazing. So we're going to take a little joy span inventory. This is very, very short. This is just a few questions. This is not everything, but can you help me? Thank you, Sandy. Faith, can you do this side and maybe Sandy this side? Hopefully you have a pencil or a pen or something. The directions are right on there. So it says, be honest, answer those questions. Yeah, thank you. No, there's no grade. I'm not going to grade these. Is everybody done? Okay, I'll give you another couple minutes here. Thank you. Okay, I'll just ask you to, just in a group of 2 or 3 around you, just let's talk through that, okay? So just talk about how you scored, what you think that means for you. what you might be surprised about. Give you about 5 minutes to talk it over. Just grab some people right around you. Move if you have to. Another minute. Give you another minute. need a couple of mic runners. Mic runner on this side. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. Mic runner on this side. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so there was a lot of conversation, which is good. Just wanted to, if you have things to share out of either your group or something that just kind of struck a chord with you, just raise your hand, and I got mic runners to run, or a question. Oh, there was a lot of conversation, so there should be things to talk about. There we go.
Hi, yes, I'm Sherry. Sandy and I discovered our scoring was almost identical.
All right, all right.
So the highs and the lows. So I thought that was interesting. And that did spur a lot of conversation.
Good, good. Somebody else raised their hand over here. Jonathan?
Thank you. I have good mentors with my parents, and I explained to my friends here. They moved into a continuous care facility at age 90, and they told us that they were going to get out and make friends and do things and such, and they did. And as I explained, my mom won Volunteer of the Year award at this facility at age 103.
Yes, she should be one in this book. Look at this sample.
She might be a good candidate for that. She headed up a knitting ministry. She worked on the library board. She worked on this committee. And she forced me back to the gym because if she could go to the exercise room 3 times a week, I had no excuse.
For sure, for sure. How fun, how fun. Anyone else on this side? How about on this side? Okay, you guys. Oh, David's gonna have, David has this, yeah.
I'm like Jonathan, brothers. Okay. I think we all agreed that we hate self-assessment things like this. That said, I think we also agreed that filling this out depends on how you got out of the bed this morning. If you got out bright and sunny, you'd score yourself high. If you got up a little depressed or in trouble, you'd score yourself low.
Okay.
Gail pointed out that one way a lot of these 4 factors play is if you lose a spouse and have to adapt to being alone. And that kind of forces you into it. And if you're lucky, you can adapt, change, grow, connect. And if you don't, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so for me, looking at that was realizing a lot of it was internal, right? If these are going to be my characteristics, I'm going to have to do something about that, right? It's not necessarily dependent on my external circumstances. I have to do those things. If I'm going to grow, adapt, give, relate, that's on me.
And I think, too, your faith comes into big play. And I think I've learned that more and more every decade or every year, that you're not going to adapt, grow, change, whatever, unless you have faith that you can do it. And that faith is not, you didn't come up with this. Someone's leading you along the way. And you've got to be humble about that. And we said that's a gift. And you've got to respect and cherish that gift and not tarnish it.
Yeah, thank you, David. Oh, yes, Janet.
Well, during our life together, we moved a lot. And one thing I try to teach my kids is that you have no control over a lot of things that happen to you in life. What you can control is your response to it and how you decide. I know one move, our son was that middle, teenage where he was really unhappy with us and moaning and groaning, and I let that go on and listen for a while, and finally one night I said, I get it that you're unhappy about this. Meanwhile, he was making friends and he was adapting, but he still had to complain. But I said, I can't, you have to decide yourself if you're going to be happy or not. And I can promise you, we're going to move again. So this is the way it is while you are still in our care. But But they, you know, they did adapt, and they're both very independent people. But you have to decide from within how you respond to things. And some things that happen to us are overwhelming. Like,
Sure.
I haven't lost a spouse, thank God, but, you know, you have to face that those things will come, and you have to adapt and figure out how you're going to move on.
Yeah, yeah. Look, Carol.
The one that kind of tripped me up was when a question is asked about how would people describe me, that I don't know.
Not sure.
I don't run around
Not sure
and
how
say,
they would, huh?
yeah, I don't run around and say, what do you think of me? I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Others?
For me, joy is a choice, and I can take away that joy if I choose worry and fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those aren't compatible, are they? Yeah. Paula. I think Paula had her hand up.
Within our group, we felt that adapting was a difficult choice, I guess, especially when you deal with another generation, whether it's family or friends. And as we age, you know, a lot of us are kind of set in our ways.
No. No.
And I thought what was interesting is learning to listen rather than just say, I feel this way, I did this and that. So I struggle with that, especially with some family members.
There you go. Any other? I had two mother-in-laws in my life, and I contrast them both. The first mother-in-law I had, her youngest son was killed in a tragic accident when he was 14 years old. And she could never let it go. She could never get over it. And I just watched her get more and more reclusive, more and more angry. The bitterness actually started to show on her physically. And I just watched that. I was so sad to watch that. My second mother-in-law lived to be 96, and she was very adaptable. She had lost her first husband to cancer fairly early, when he was 65. So she'd lived long past that. She had remarried. But when she was 90, we told her, Mom, you really need to get off the farm, because she would go out and drive her riding lawnmower up the hill and scared us to death. So we said, Mom, we really think you need to move into a senior living modular home park, 65 and over. She resisted immediately. As soon as she got there, she started making friends. She became like the person who did planned all the events, had the potlucks, had the parties. So she loved it. She was great. And then she needed to move into assisted living. She needed more care. She couldn't do that on her own. So she resisted at first, and then she became like the champion of the assisted living facility. She was like your mom. They would, when people would come in, she would be the ambassador for the place, telling them all about the wonderful things that happened there and everything. So totally different response to the difficulties in life and just that adaptability. And I watched that happen in her, and I thought, okay, that's the mother-in-law I want to exemplify. My mother was that way too. So we do. It's a choice. It's a choice you have to make every day, and it's certainly a choice you have to make, especially when bad things happen, when difficulties happen. You have to choose how you're going to respond to it, and if we're going to adapt and grow. Any other comments about this part? Okay, we're going to go on. So what is joy? I have some great quotes about joy that I found from different people. Carrie Burnite herself says this: joy is the experience of contentment, gratitude, and meaning, regardless of external circumstances. And that's what you have talked about here. Joy is not simply feeling happy. Joy encompasses the qualities. That should be a cue there. Quality of life and the ability to contribute to the world with a sense of meaning and purpose. That's her definition of joy. Henry Nouwen. If many of you have read probably a lot of Henry Nouwen, wonderful, wonderful priest and writer. He says, joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day. Brene Brown, maybe many of you have read some of her writing. She has a wonderful podcast. What is joy to her? Joy collected over time fuels resilience, ensuring we'll have reservoirs of emotional strength when hard things do happen. And finally, Eleanor Rubinstein, who lived to the age of 106, says, your own joy increases when you make someone else happy. That's the part of the give that Carrie Bernhardt writes about. It's another way to make new friends. Doing things for friends takes your mind off yourself. When you just think, poor me, joy runs away from you. I think that was a wonderful quote. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the writings of Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu wrote a wonderful book called The Book of Joy, which is a wonderful read. If you want to just be happy and make yourself happy, you'll read that. But he has this to say.
This marvelous human brain, not well balanced with warm-heartedness, but combined with anger, jealousy. So then, instead of bring happiness or peace, you see, we really become the creator of problem. War only, I think, exists among humanity. It's quite a pity. Now scientists also say constant anger, hatred is actually eating our immune system. Anger very much related with self-centered attitude, altruistic attitude. These people much happier. Too much self-centered attitude, then whole phenomena appears something difficult. And then fear, anxiety creates anger. I feel education should include about our inner peace, not through prayer, but through understanding which emotion creates violence, anger, jealousy, anxiety, fear. So these ultimately related self-centered, I, me. Just to pray, God, not sufficient. We must have knowledge. When about anger comes, then use our intelligence and reduce the intensity of anger. Karuna, increase compassion, then anger automatically reduces. Today's reality, entire humanity, one community. So instead of also fighting. Now we should develop Sarvasri, universal love.
Good words. So, how do we cultivate joy to improve our lifespan? Carrie Burnite has some words of wisdom. Gratitude practice. Regularly reflecting on things you're thankful for enhances emotional well-being. I've often told my kids when they are growing up, I said, before you go to bed at night, thank God for all the things that have gone well for you today. Just take a moment to just be grateful. Be grateful for all the good things. When we reflect on those good things, it kind of pushes out the bad things because the good things outweigh the bad. And so being thankful, being grateful is one way. Exercise and play. Physical activities release endorphins, improving mood and increasing joy. If you have a chance to play with kids, that's like the best thing ever, you know. Bring kids and they want to play with you, that's awesome. I went from real bowling to Wii bowling, but I still beat the grandkids, so yeah. Social connections. Nurture friendships and family relationships to build emotional resilience. So the more we are connected with others, the better we are able to nurture our own inner joy. There we go. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices reduce stress, increase present moment joy. So taking a moment to just be mindful of our situation, to just take a moment to pray, to, if you get out and walk and just look at nature and think about all the beauty that surrounds us, all of those moments of mindfulness increase our joy. Not moving fast. There we go. Meaningful work and hobbies. Engage in activities that bring purpose and fulfillment. That's why people who work well into their 90s, if they're finding joy in what they do, then that definitely brings joy. Acts of kindness, helping others generates a lasting sense of joy and connection. And finally, laughter. Laughter. Spend time with people or engage in activities that make you laugh. Laughter has measurable health benefits. I loved the interview where she said, you know, children laugh 300 times a day. Children laugh at everything. I mean, they laugh all the time. I love to watch crazy little meme videos of babies laughing. You cannot help but laugh when you hear a baby laugh. And they just, you know, that laughter is just so therapeutic. So we're going to look at a few things, health benefits of laughter. So these might be surprising to you, but there are some great health benefits. So finally, reducing stress. Laughter is a natural stress reliever. It lowers levels of cortisol and adrenaline, hormones associated with stress. Engaging in laughter can help disarm the nervous system, leading to a more relaxed state. Studies have shown that laughter can decrease stress hormones and promote feelings of joy and relaxation, making it an effective tool for managing stress. So when you're feeling stressed, find a funny movie or read a funny story and just have some laugh. It improves your cardiovascular health. Laughter increases heart rate, improves blood circulation, similar to light exercise. So if you don't like to exercise, laugh instead. I like that. It has been linked to better blood vessel function and reduced risk of heart disease. Regular laughter can enhance overall heart health by reducing artery inflammation and increasing levels of HDL, that's the good cholesterol. Strengthens your immune system. Laughter boosts the production of natural killer cells, antibodies, and infection-fighting T cells, which help the body ward off illness more effectively. Research indicates that individuals who laugh regularly have strong immune responses, making them less susceptible to infection. It enhances your mental health. Laughter promotes mental well-being by increasing the release of endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, chemicals associated with happiness and pleasure. It can also improve cognitive function and help regulate neurotransmitter levels in the brain, similar to the effects of antidepressants. Engaging in laughter can foster social connections and improve overall mood, and you don't have to take a pill for it. Aids in pain relief. Laughter has been shown to decrease pain perception. It releases chemicals in the brain that counteract my sentence thing does not work really well, so these words are like separated. Pain signals, making it a natural painkiller. Studies have indicated that laughter therapy can significantly reduce pain levels in individuals with chronic conditions. Laughter therapy. Do you know there's actually, if you look up online, there's laughter yoga. There are tons, I mean, you just Google laughter yoga. You will find all kinds of certified laughter yoga practitioners who will teach you how to practice laughter yoga. It's there, it's true, it's out there. So, yeah, I'm going to yoga today. I'm just going to sit in my chair and laugh. Works for me. So, conclusion, incorporating laughter into your daily life can lead to significant improvements in both physical and mental health. Whether through watching a funny movie, sharing jokes with friends, or simply reflecting on joyful moments, laughter can be a powerful tool for enhancing overall well-being. Embracing humor and laughter can contribute to a healthier, happier life. So, we're going to do something for whoop. Not going to do that one yet, so I'm going to go back. Okay, so I have a couple of things to share with you on that topic of laughter. So David shared this book with me, which is just a wonderful little book. It's full of all kinds of just fun things. Marilyn Hines is actually from here, right, David? Excuse me. And she wrote this marvelous little book. And part of it says, I'm going to take a drink here because I'm coughing. It's called Geriatrica. It's on the suggested Traveler's Guide to Geriatrica, but it's on your suggested reading list. Okay. So this comes from a page that says, humor helps. Aging is no joke. Although we oldies can be the butt of jokes, but laughing makes us feel good, while moaning and groaning makes us feel worse. Dr. William Quinn, a fellow pediatrician, wrote in the American Academy of Pediatrics, sorry, I got something in my throat, senior bulletin, what he learned through the ages of his life. At 82, I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be a one. At 92, he admits, I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. Will Rogers kept America laughing and had lots to say about aging, though he died in a plane crash at age 56, in Alaska, by the way. You know you are getting old when everything either dries up or leaks. I can tell you you have experienced that. It's one of those, yeah, I relate to that experience. One must wait until evening to see how splendid the day has been. If you don't learn to laugh at trouble, you won't have anything to laugh at when you're old. American writer Ambrose Bierce gathered his satiric definitions into a single book, The Devil's Dictionary, first published in 1906 under a different title. I cannot pick up my falling apart paperback without laughing out loud. He defines life as a spiritual pickle, preserving the body from decay. We live in daily apprehension of its loss, yet when lost, it is not missed. Longevity is uncommon extension of the fear of death. A delightful book by Father Gander in Father Gander's Nursery Rhymes brings gender equality to the nursery where it belongs. One reviewer used the term equal rhymes amendment. An example, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. Jill be nimble, jump it too. If Jack can do it, so can you. You can entertain young ones with such poems and teach them an appropriate lesson at the same time. Musical jokes abound. Here are two of my favorites. Gilbert, the lyricist half of Gilbert and Sullivan, had a sharp wit and a sharper tongue. When a woman, not very knowledgeable about music, asked, "Is Bach still composing?" he retorted, "No, madame, he is decomposing." Fred Allen said, "When Jack Benny plays the violin, it sounds as if the strings are still back in the cat." Limericks, both clean and dirty, can make me laugh. Pick up a book of limericks at the bookstore or library and laugh away. So there's some fun things in this book that we can laugh at, so that's good. And we can always have fun with music. If you, music, there's just no way you cannot be joyful when you're listening to music. And one of my favorites happens to be one that I found in online, and this is one that, have you ever seen one of these flash mobs? This is a flash mob from, I think it's Bulgaria.
Jesus walked, when Jesus walked, when Jesus walked, you washed my sins away.
Just try not to move. Try not to move.
Happy day.
suggested reading list for all the things that we've talked about all during this time and some other things I've thrown in. No particular order to the reading list. I'm going to pass that out. And then I'm also going to pass out a small sheet for a reflection. I want to hear what worked. This is the first time I've done this particular series. I want to know what worked, what didn't work, what you would have liked to have seen more of, what you think we could have left out. So I want to take some time for you to do that, and then just get some feedback from you also verbally if you have any. So I'm going to pass those things out right now. By the way, if you did not pick up a 5 wishes and you wanted one, there's more here as well. So that's this one. Okay, what one do half and half? Here we go. There we go. If you did not get a Billy Graham book and you wanted one, I've got a couple more coming in today. So let me know and I'll keep one for you.
Do you have one? I do. Oh, okay. Yeah, I made that.
Okay, you should have 2 pieces of paper, one big one, one little one. And if there's something you feel really passionate about, fill out 2 or 3 of those feedback forms. Just in case you want to write a lot of stuff on there. Yeah. Hi, Carter.
How's work on the basis that if you lose your sense of humor, you're dead?
Yeah, that's right. You got to have a sense of humor. Life is funny, isn't it? You watch the pits, yeah. Instead of saging, you said sagging, aging to sagging. Yeah. Appropriate also, yeah. there's some that are so fun to watch, yeah. There was one, yeah. Me too. There was one in Budapest at Easter time. Have you seen that one, Easter in Budapest? Oh my gosh, it's like this huge flash mob, and it's all about the resurrection. So it's about Easter, and it's the music is beautiful, and everybody's so happy and dancing, and it's so fun, so fun. So if you want to take those with you, if you want to think about it and write more and give them to me later, that's okay too. If you have yours done, I'll just ask you to put it on the table out there where the handouts were, and I will gather those up and hopefully learn from them. So the next time we do this, we'll improve it. Yes, Melinda. Oh, yes. So for the women in the group, men, you're not invited, sorry. We're having a women's retreat in May, and it's all about gratitude. So, so we're going to be having a 2.5-day retreat all about gratitude. So should be fun. Out in the, at the Redemptorist Retreat Center, way out in Marana. Yeah. Beautiful place. It's all about gratitude. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing it this time. Yeah. May, was it 13 through 15, Melinda? I don't have my 15 through 17. 15 through 17. Cool. Starting to sign up. It's a little later than usual this year, but that's because that's the only time we could get the retreat center. Okay, so I have one more little treat to read to you. This comes from one of my favorite authors, Gerhard Frost. It's falling apart because I use it so much. It's called Seasons of a Lifetime. And this one is called The Joker. And I thought this was extremely important for us to remember right now. How a man thinketh, wasn't that Robert Frost? As a man thinketh. So, words from Gerhard Frost. My mind is landlord to my thoughts. I invite them and entertain them. But somehow vagrant thoughts move in and make their plans to stay. I'm carried back through many years of family fun to a well-remembered joke. We placed a birdhouse the day for leasing came. The royal palace waited, newly painted, nicely mounted, right in size and every other way. Proudly, haughtily, we waited. 1 day, 3 days, 10. No birds. They didn't like us. The empty birdhouse seemed to say, we peered, we gazed, we stared. 1 day it came. We had a tenant. But what? But who? Someone, something, looked out at us and then withdrew. But who? Binoculars. Get the binoculars, someone said, and I was the first in line. I waited for the movement of that pretty little head, that bright-eyed little songster we wanted so to greet. It came, I looked, I laughed, I saw a toad. Today I thought an inappropriate thought. Like a toad in a birdhouse, it came. and moved in as one who planned to stay. I shoot it, I threatened it, commanded it, I laughed at it, and thought of that joker, the toad. We'll end with that. Let us pray. We are thankful, God, for all of the ways in which you enrich our lives, all the ways that you enable us to grow. Help us, Lord, to think good thoughts, and when those ugly thoughts, the ones we don't want, tend to invade our mind, help us to think of that toad and shoo it out. Help us to be, as the Dalai Lama reminded us, people who are full of compassion and love, who chase away the anger and the fear, who live to help others, to see others, and to grow in joy and love always. We just ask you, Lord, now to go with us, lead and guide us by your Spirit, Lord, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Go in peace, serve the Lord. Oh, one more thing. David sent me this one, and I have not read it to you, and it is lovely. I'm going to finish with this. Your journey has molded you for a greater good, and it was exactly what it needed to be. Don't think you've lost time. There is no shortcutting to life. It took each and every situation you have encountered to bring you to the now, and the now is right on time. I love that. That was a quote that David gave me, and I thought that was lovely. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you came. So glad you joined me. Thank you. Thank you.